what are key features of Python? As Python is becoming trending and popular, now let's talk about some of the key features of Python. So as we all know that Python has many key features, let's talk about some of them. As Python is very simple and it is just like an English-like language. If you see some syntaxes or if you see any of the programming constructs, they are just like simple and they are very easy to learn. That is the reason why Python is being widely used language and one of the top 10 programming languages present in this world. And also it is just an open source language. So if you want to install Python, you can just go to python.org and you can directly install that without paying any fee. Let's say if you want to install Windows, it is not possible because it is licensed version. However, it is open source version Python where you can use it without paying a single rupee. And also Python is platform independent. What is platform independent? So let's say if you write program in one machine and if you want to run the same program in another machine, it can be possible. So this is why Python is called as a platform independent language. And Python is also called as dynamically typed programming language because Python is, let's say if I want to declare a variable called I, we don't want to declare its type. However, in traditional programming languages like C or Java, what we need to do is we need to declare its type and we need to declare the variable name. However, in Python, we don't want to declare a type of its variable. That is the reason why it is known as a dynamically typed programming language.
We always tend to choose the first job we get. And the first job we go into will have a lot of impact on us. It can even make or break our life. True. Because when we are going out into a professional world, which have a lot of scope for our career, which have a lot of scope for the knowledge, when we go for a job that we are not satisfied with, we are putting all down the drain and choosing it. Yes, that's true. So in that scenario, it's better to leave the first job that you get if you are not satisfied with that. Yes, that's a good idea. Instead, you can get a way to get your dream job with that dream salary that you always aspire for. True. Thinking about the ways to get, no need to think a lot. We have Relevel through which you can get your dream job in your dream company without need to apply for different companies and wait for the response. True. All you need to do is take up the Relevel test and get a good score through which you will be getting a chance to work for your dream company. So if you want to know about this Relevel by an Academy is India's first hiring platform through which you will get a chance to work for topmost companies of India. So register with Relevel and you need not to pay a single rupee to that. It's a completely free test. Through that you will get a Relevel score which will be based to interview you and you can get a chance to work for the companies. So check out the description for the link and I have made a complete video on this, how to register and what are the benefits of Relevel by an Academy's test and all. Check out that as well. You will get a clear idea.
And also it is both object-oriented programming language and procedure-oriented programming language. If you consider C is a procedure-oriented programming language because it uses functions, and however object-oriented programming language like Java, where we don't have, if you want to write anything, we can write it in functions only. However, we can write both object-oriented programming languages like classes and all, and we can write without classes and we can run the program, that is procedural. So Python is both object-oriented as well as procedure-oriented programming language, and Python is interpreted programming language. The line will be all the lines in the program will be compiled line after line. That means the lines will be executed one after other. Okay, whereas compiler will compile all the lines in one go. That is the reason why Python is called as an interpreted programming language. And in addition to this, we have different features like extensible, very enriched of libraries. But however, these are very key features of Python. What is the difference between Jdk, Jre and Jvm? This is one of the most frequently asked questions in interviews. So let's see what is Jdk. So when you install Java, say Java asks you to install Jdk and also Jre. So let's see the difference between Jdk, Jre and Jvm. So what is meant by Jdk is, Jdk stands for Java Development Kit and it is used to provide the environment to run and develop the Java applications. So if you take the JDK is just like running the Java application, and also it provides to develop a Java application. So this is the main advantage of JDK. And what is the advantage of JRE is JRE provides an environment to run the Java application. It is not used to develop an application, however it is used to run an application. Let's say if you are a developer, you need to use the JDK because you are developing the Java applications, right? You should install JDK in your system. However, if you are a client, see, client doesn't want JDK because he just want to run the application, right? So he just want to install JRE instead of JDK because he is not developing any Java application. Instead, he is running the Java application. So client requires JRE. However, developer requires JDK because he want to run and develop the Java application. Now, what is JVM is? JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine, and it is used to run the Java program line by line. As we all know that if you run a program line by line, then it is called as an interpreter. So this is very important thing. JVM is very important thing to run the program line by line and to raise any syntax errors present in our program. So if you want to see the overview of these three things, so this outermost part is called JDK, where JDK consists of JRE plus some development tools. And if you take this JRE part, this JRE again consists of two things. One is JVM and second one is library classes. So this JDK is used to develop and run applications. JRE is used to run the Java application, and JVM is used to run the Java program line by line. That is the difference between JDK, JRE and JVM. Is auto-boxing and unboxing in Java. So as we all know that Java is object-oriented programming language but not pure object-oriented programming language. Why Java is not pure object-oriented programming language? Because we use some primitive data types like int, float, double, etc. This is the reason why Java is called as not a pure object-oriented programming language. So is there any way that we can convert the primitive data types into objects? Yeah, we have a way to convert the primitive data types into objects. The conversion of primitive data type into wafer class object is known as an auto boxing. So let's take an example of having let's take the example integer I is equal to 10. So this 10 is called as an integer value. Okay, now I want to convert this integer into an object. So if I want to convert this integer into wafer class object called as an integer, this can be done using auto unboxing. If you write like this, integer I is equal to 10, this 10 will be converted into integer object. Okay, so this can be done only after 1.4 version of Java. Before 1.4 version of Java, if you write like this, the compiler, the JVM will give you an error saying that it is an incompatible type. But however, this feature is implemented in 1.5. After 1.5, you can directly convert the integer primitive data type into wafer class object. What is unboxing? See, the conversion, this is the reverse engineering of autoboxing. If an wafer class object is converted into primitive data type, then it is called as an unboxing. Let's take an example. I have declared an integer object called 10. So this is an object. The value in that object is 10 and this is an integer object. Now my aim is to convert this integer object into primitive data type. So I am writing like this, I is an integer object here. I am converting this integer object into value of type int. This is called as an unboxing. So this is difference between autoboxing and unboxing in Java. What are ACID properties in Dbms? So let's talk about what is the abbreviation of ACID. So as we all know that A stands for atomicity, C stands for consistency, I stands for isolation, and D stands for durability. So let's take a person, A is transferring some amount from A to B. So let's take an example of this and let's talk about each and every principle. So let's say if the person X has 500 rupees and a person Y has 200 rupees. So now what X has to do is X want to send 100 rupees from account A to account B or account X to account Y. So what he need to do in transaction T1, first he need to read the value of X, and also he need to detect the value of X is equal to X minus 100 as he was sending 100 rupees from X to Y. And also he need to write this value to the database as he was reducing 100 rupees. So before transaction the value is 500 and after transaction the value is 400 because he sent 100 rupees from X to Y. So in transaction T2 at the receiver end, First, what you need to do is you need to get the value from database, and the value should be incremented by 100. Later, the incremented value should be updated to the database, and then if you retrieve the value will be 300 after 100 rupees incremented. So if this is the transaction, what happened is due to some external failure, there may be database crash or anything else. What happened is after this write, there was a crash. So after this crash, see, the value is decremented from this and the value is not being updated here. So at this point of time, see, there was loss of 100, right? So if there is loss of 100, there was a bug, right? So it should not happen. So this atomicity principle says that the entire transaction takes place at once or it doesn't happen at all. Okay, now see, if there is crash happened at write X, or if there is crash happened before write Y, so the transaction should halt. That is what the atomicity says, that see, if there is a transaction, it should happen at one go, or it shouldn't happen at all. That is what this atomicity principle is saying. Now let's talk about the consistency. What consistency states that is, before transaction, what are values of 500 plus 200. So if X plus Y is 500 plus 200, which is 700. What is the values of after transaction? It is 400 and 300. If we add that 400 and 300, which is equivalent to 700. So the amount, the principal amount before transaction and after transaction should be same. So that is where the consistency principle talks about.